Greetings one and all, my name is Lancer and welcome back once again to Darling in the FranXX. We'll be watching episode 19 and last time on. Mitsuru and Kokoro were about to get married since everyone was about to leave this place and they wanted to leave one lasting memory. And while in the midst of all that, Ikano confessed her love to Ichigo, and before Mitsuru and Kokoro could seal it with a kiss, they were accosted by the Nine and Papa's troops and they were taken away. Their memories were erased and, well, now everyone's gearing up for a battle. A battle against Clazosaurs, probably, and not the actual threat. But are we going to be able to get Mitsuru and Kokoro's memories back? I mean, Hiro remembered. I guess we'll see. Let's get right into the episode. Right into it. Well, they've already done it, you know? But what about, like, the others, though? That's the thing. They still remember. So he's gonna go against them? 2025 AD, yikes! Okay. Well, I could not have picked a better time to watch the show. Way back. So we're actually gonna see the history. So this all happened within the last, like, what, at least 50 years? I mean, however old that doctor is. It felt like this was like 100 years in the future. I mean, it might be, I don't know, we still don't have an exact date. Cloning, huh? In that rinky-dink little office of his, he's doing cloning? Alright. Yeah. Nobody crazy enough. Yeah. Doesn't make it right. Hmm. Sheesh. It's 2025, where's our magma mining machines? The Apex. Right, they took over, and now they're the ruling power. Ooh. Karina Milsa. Yeah. I love what shows do shit like this. It's just like this massive empty room with just a desk and a window. How more villainous can you get? Right. How? 2030. Still got smoking rooms. But in exchange, we can create the kids. The beauty of life. Right. We create gods that even atheists have to believe in. That's an idea. So, like, that next step in the evolution is the Clazosaurs? Is that what we're getting towards? But then who is the princess? Is this the princess? Yeah. Of course. I mean, that's just human in general. I think people, especially nowadays, would gladly make that trade. Like, you could be immortal, but you can't reproduce. Fuck it. Like, what's the point, really? If you want to be cynical about it and really boil it down, we live as long as we do because we reproduce, pass on that knowledge to our children and all that, and then live long enough. We raise them, and they grow up, and then, you know, the cycle repeats itself. But, like, if you become become immortal, kind of just like, what's the point of continuing the cycle at all, you know? It began and ended with you. But I mean, as with other shows that I've watched that have tackled immortality, there comes a point where you want to die. I've seen some shows that have handled it funny, some shows that have handled it, I'd say, more realistically in that sense. There's different levels of immortality, though, where it's just like, there's immortality in the sense that you don't age anymore, so you just kind of are young. And then there's invincibility immortality, you know, where it's like, you can't die. I imagine this is more the former, where you just don't age anymore. Apex, huh? Naturally. Oh my lord. Tax childbirth. I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that happens in the future. By like 2030s, you know? Because, you know, the world's population, it is growing. We've passed 8 billion. Especially here in America, man. I would not be surprised if there's a childbirth tax that gets added. As if people were making enough money anyway. Well. Naturally. Okay, now we're back to the present. And now he's back to normal. That seemed like such a jump. Kind of just like told, I thought we were gonna get like more with that with the doctor. I mean, we might. We just went like, all right, and now we're back to the present. Like, I still have questions. They tried to put him back to how they used to be. What even are those feelings, right? Still have the ring, though. Okay, we're jumping all over the place then. I'm guessing maybe an explosion happens later and that this is all that's left of him physically. You married? Right, okay. Well, never thought about it, huh? Fair enough. I guess it's kind of fitting jumping back and forth between the two relationships. Yeah, they made several arcs though. That day, humanity remembered. Damn. Of course it started in Australia. Screaming reptiles. Where the fuck did they come from? You're both scientists. Uh-huh. That's why it's FranXX. That's why it's FranXX, because of the XX chromosome. Fuck, dude. I got a bad feeling about this. Well, okay, if it's the same XX chromosome, is it because it comes from whoever the fuck the princess is? What if the princess ends up being their child? Bro didn't even sign it? FranXX 2042. Huh. Shit. Reproductive organs. I mean, he still has them too. Is this where they discover like the duo pilot thing? Sheesh. Just like that. Holy shit, that was so quick.
多くの犠牲と引き換えに
Just for this test.
パイロットへ
Sheesh.
のフランクスとのつながりを伝達する人工血液細胞を投与した登場させることで解消されることが分かった。生殖能力を失った人類は皮肉なことにここに来て新たな子供たちを必要とした。彼らは子供と呼ばれ
Children.
皮肉なことにここに来て新たな子供たちを必要とした。
So they were made? Okay. I thought the twist was gonna be that they were born. I mean, maybe Squad 13, some of them were actually born, but just like the rare people who still have reproductive organs. So that's why they are parasites. Okay.
記憶を消されただけじゃない。巧妙に偽造された記憶を埋め込まれてる。
Sheesh. So that's why they can be altered so easily. Their memories and stuff is just because they are made. They're not really bred. I mean, it's clear the doctor doesn't really know what the clasosaurs are. At least he doesn't know fully. I mean, it's clear. We saw like when that core split in half, it's like a little like embryo thing fell out. Is it just a case of like this whole thing has been an elaborate war just like to keep the clasosaurs distracted and keep the humans distracted while they build this like death machine, the Hringhorny or whatever the fuck that's gonna be?
こんなのおかしいよ。
Truly.
あの二人がしたことって考えがあんじゃねえかな。
ソロメあんた。みんなで作った結婚式も
俺たちには生まれた時。
You haven't even had him. You've seen him like once.
これからミツルたちのことパパに直接お願いします。
Do you have that authority? They'll just like put you in front of a
フラン
hologram.
クス投入当初違えるように全滅を繰り返した。
You're right.
甚大な被害を代償に撃退法も確立されていった。子供たちの育成機関としてガーデンの開設。
Right.
パラサイトには上層が必要とされ、古来の環境での養育が適していると判明したから細心の注意が払われ、常に最良の状態を保てるようにコントロールしている。
So that's their caretakers. It's just like it comes in.
大人たちは巨竜の存在さえも意識から消し、不死
Not entirely, though.
永遠に続く凪のような生活を手に入れることとなる。心の置きどころを。この頃にはもう私の興味は人類の育成からは離れ、
Yeah.
葛藤していった。そんな時、奇妙な噂が広がる。女王蜂のごとき個体が存在しているというのだ。エイプはその個体が潜伏している場所をと。
I don't know how, and I don't even know if the writers know how.
巨竜のクイーンと出会ったなら何でもいい。DNA サンプルを持ち帰ってくれ。
驚くほど見たこともない朽ちた太古の文明だった。
何をしに来た。
誰だ。
無知なる者どもよ。
She's speaking into their minds.
巨竜反応あり。
何？方向は
全方位から。
全方位。
Alien.
中心にエンジン系を組め。
What are you gonna do? Shit. An interesting specimen. There she is.
興奮していた。紛れもなく私が見ていたものの中で。
手を出せ。お前からは同胞の匂いがする。お前の罪はただ殺すだけでは足りんようだ。
Oh god. The licking. Oh god.
腕を食いちぎられてなお巨竜に見せられ。
It's so beautiful.
すでに人と呼べるものでは。
I mean, yeah.
うせる。これ以上同胞に手を出すなと。
He just fucking dies there. What happened to the rest of your body?
ミツルコード326と556の記憶を
Yeah.
元に戻してください。
Oh, he's actually
記憶
talking to
が
them.
封印したわけではない。もう戻す方法はない。
That's Cap, because we know he did the same thing to us.
この行為は重大な規則違反だ。本来なら厳罰者だが、今回だけは記録するにとどめておこう。
ちょっと待
謝れよ。謝れって言ってんだよ。
Futoshi.
話勝手に終わらそうとしてんじゃねえよ。
I mean, this is kind of their own fault, you know? These guys, it's like, oh, we actually need the emotions in order for them to pilot it. Comes a point where those emotions, they build, and then it just comes back to being human again.
一言くらい謝れよ。一つだけあとどのくらい巨竜を殺せば俺たち大人になれるんですか。
As many as it takes. No one's, yeah.
じゃあ俺たちは何のために生きてるんですか。Xに乗って死ぬだけの存在なんですか。それだけでも教えてよパパ。
俺と02の大事な記憶も奪った。ミツルと心からもあなたたちをパパなんて思うことができない。 この戦いが終わったら俺たちを自由にしてください。
自由。
次の作戦役割さえちゃんとこなしてくれればそれでいい。
Well, you didn't define what kind of setting free. They could just kill you. Like, oh, you're free from this life.
それなら見せてみる。お前たちが本当の人間となれるかどうか。
自分たちの運命は自分たちで決めます。記憶の中であなたを見ました。俺はあなたを許すことはできない。
How are your horns doing?
ダーリンのエッジ。
俺たちは決めたよ。
運命は往々にして残酷だ。欲望の前にはゼロツーよ。お前はわしを恨むだろう。
Hate if you knew what. Was she created from that little piece of DNA?
もう少しだ。もう少しで私の夢がその美しく完全なる姿。
That's where she came from. The others too, maybe? Inhumanity. I mean, yeah. Well, that was episode 19 of Darling in the FranXX. That was some necessary lore on the doctor. I liked all of that, to be fair. I don't know how I really feel about them just being like, somehow we found the princess. I mean, I'm sure it's more of a case that they've always known about her. Where did she come from? I mean, there was a couple episodes ago where she took the mask off like those ambassadors. It was just like, you want to be humans, which I feel like implies that she is human, or she once was human. It might be kind of like a Ymir in Attack on Titan situation where she was human at one time and then was outcasted and then stumbled upon this power in a hidden place and used it to subjugate humanity in her own way. Maybe similarly to that, though, the power of love might be what undoes her curse. It was pretty obvious that just like 02 was created from her, so they used the same process that they did to make these kids, but he just incorporated her DNA into it. But why did she bother to give it to him? Just because she was fascinated with him? Or is it kind of, again, kind of like a Ymir thing where it's like she's setting up for the future? It's like one day you will create a girl from this DNA who then meets Hero and then just kind of sets off with this endless loop of history. Not really a time loop, but more just like what will ultimately end it all, you know, Eren Mikasa kind of thing. But the Attack on Titan comparisons will never cease with this show. It's always on my mind. I mean, his wife's death, that was extremely abrupt, but I mean, it made sense though. Just, I mean, she was like the first test with like someone with reproductive organs, and just that wall though, people just that died for this test. So it's kind of just like when you look back like on the FranXX and all this, it's like the amount of people who died just to get to where they are, which I'm still curious about, just like why specifically Squad 13, like why their FranXX have like such human, I mean, I think it's because these kids have felt the most human out of anybody, especially like when we meet the 9, which I assume the rest of the 9 are sort of made as well from that same DNA strand. I don't know if it's like a Jurassic Park situation where we could take the DNA strand and just stretch it, use frog DNA to fill in the gene sequence gaps. I mean, it's kind of like that reverse evolution thing where it's like humanity evolved using this magma to make them immortal at the cost of being able to reproduce. But the irony being that they needed people who were capable of being able to reproduce to pilot the FranXX. They needed people with those emotions, basically. So they kind of had to reverse engineer a human to like have those emotions and just cultivate those feelings. And then that naturally evolved to the point where we have these kids who are the most human feeling people in different ways. That's why these kids truly feel like they could be the start of a proper humanity, like, you know, starting over again. But would it just feed into an endless cycle? I don't know. But that was a really good episode. Got some questions, filled in some gaps. I liked it. I still have questions, obviously. Like, there's still the thing of what are the Clasosaurs exactly? Like, where did they come from? If they aren't created from, which they have to be created from humans, whatever that may be, but in that case, where did the princess come from? That's still like kind of the last piece of the puzzle I need, which I imagine we'll get towards the end, but I guess we'll see. But either way, this was my reaction to episode 19 of Darling in the FranXX. Show me next time for episode 20, as well as everything else will be coming out soon. Until next time, I'm Lancer. Thanks for watching.